welcome back to AllFreeCrochet.com. For lots of free patterns and free ideas, please check out AllFreeCrochet.com. I'm your host Mikey today, and we are going to be working on making chunky bracelets with crochet wire. And it is amazing because your creativity is just amazing and it looks amazing. You know, crochet with wire can be a lot of fun. And so what I'm going to is take you through the step-by-step process on making your own chunky wire jewelry. So let's get started, and we are going to be doing basically, I've already done some of these in a preliminary tutorial on how to crochet with wire and then crochet with beads, and so we're going to use the same concepts here in order to continue making the bracelet. So let's get started on this fabulous tutorial, and you can make some extra moolah if you get really good at doing it. In today's tutorial, you're going to need non-tarnish 26 gauge wire, just like so. You're going to need some nail clippers in order to trim your wire. You're going to need, I would recommend having both. You'll have the flat needle nose jeweler pliers, as well as the flat square nose jeweler pliers as well. And you're also going to need 4 crimping tubes, and the tubes are just like really small in order to hold everything into place. And you're going to need some clasping, and I'm probably going to do little cutesy hearts on mine, and my hearts are just like so, and I'm going to use those for clasping. So let's get started on this tutorial. We're going to have 5 different strands altogether, but what I can recommend is that you can go 3, you can go 2, you can go 7, you can go as many as you want, but this is just the basics on getting you started. So in the bracelets that we have here, we actually have one piece of filler that has no beads at all, and when you're looking at it you can't even notice that because it's just filler, but it's actually right here. So this whole strand that I'm holding out right now has nothing on it, and it's a grid, a bulkiness. And for example, if you're using a really expensive jewelry, you know, you may just want to put in filler just to make it look fuller, but without having to increase your cost by very much. So what we want to do with making the filler, and this is for an adult person that we're working with, we want to leave a 4-inch tail, or sorry, 2 to 4 inch tail, and we just want to wrap it around your finger just like so. We're not putting on any beads on this, we're making the filler one. So you can make as many fillers as you want. They can be different colors. You know, the creativity is up to you. I'm using a size J hook today. It's 6.0 millimeters, and it is a steel hook for your success, so make sure you use steel instead of aluminum, resin, or plastic. We just then want to create the slip knot just like I was doing there, and we just want to rotate back and pull through. So that's 1, and we want a total of 25. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. And now I want to cut this, so I'm using my nail clippers at this point, and I'm just going to go over here and trip just like so, and just grab the hook and pull through. So you can make as many fillers as you want within this. And again, the sizes are kind of different, right? They're not all consistent, but that's what makes this jewelry a lot of fun, is that if they're too consistent, then it'd be too boring. So just take this side, just pull it tight. This side's already pulled tight, and we can just lay it down and begin to do some bead work. The next process is choosing your beads, and I like choosing between bulky and really small. It really gives a really kind of a fabulous look when you can actually alternate between going big and small when you're doing any kind of bracelets. And again, you can just choose your colors. Like this has some purple and green wiring mixed in, and so the actual secret number to the beads on my particular bracelets are number 27. So what I just do is I choose out 27 different beads, or they could even be all the same, or they could be majority of something and whatever. You know, you can just keep mixing around. But what you want to do is kind of pay attention now. So you kind of see in the middle here on this one that's already done is that I got big, big, big. So maybe the next time I have big ones, I'm going to want to focus it more into the center points instead of actually getting it out, because what happens is if you keep doing big on the outside here, what's going to happen is you're going to have a bracelet that's out of whack because the bracelet is not being balanced properly. So what we need to do is grab your wire, and we start looking at our bead choices. So I kind of want to be thin on the outside, so we're going to choose only 9. So every time you do one, the number is 27, but each strand will have 9 beads on it, so therefore you'll have 3 different strands. So 1, so we're going to go smaller, 2, and now I told you I want to go bigger because I want to kind of get it into the center there, something bigger, 3, and maybe something smaller. And see, this has a huge hole in it, and this is fabulous because this here would always shake when somebody was wearing it. So that was 4, and that's kind of desirable too because it makes it really flowing, makes it kind of unique and different. So that was 5. Okay, and I want to do 6. Okay, and I'm looking here, there's a big one here, so maybe 7 should be this one here. 7. So all the jewelry here that you're seeing here is actually has never been purchased in a store. It's all been purchased online. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, and then I want to kind of go small because the outside one here is going to be big, so I might as well go small. So what we want to do now is that we want to be able to get this started. So what we're going to do is just rotate, so leaving about a 2 to 4 inch tail. It's up to you. You know, you'll get into the habit of what works for you. Sometimes the tails are too big. So just make your slip knot just like you did before, and now you have your beads coming up. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and so I want to be able to slide up 1 bead. So just slide 1 right to the hook, over, 1 and 2. Next one. So 1 and 2. So 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. So as I'm going along here, there's actually a conglomerate of different types of beads that you see here. Some of it are actually a real steel, some of it are just resin that are coated with the same colors, and some of it is just plastic. So it's kind of an interesting way of looking at it. This kind of neat little bead at the end. So on the end bead we go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and so we're just going to trim. And so what you need to do is need to go back and redo this tutorial 2 more times so that you have a total of 3 beads all together. So you have all your beads used up, and you'll have 3 strands that are actually all with beads on board. So do that again, and we're going to meet back up, and I'm going to show you what we need to do next in order to form this. What we want to do is we have everything done, so we just want to pick up all your pieces here, and we want to match the tails on one side. So just pick them up. If you've already got them the way that you think that you want to do it, it's up to you, but sometimes I just pick it up randomly just to see what it will look like and keep matching. So I'm just matching up the tails at the ends. So this is where the creativity, excuse me, I moved the camera, this is where the creativity lies within yourself. You know, sometimes even just doing these, you know, it could look good even if you just screwed it like this. Screwed it, if you fastened it and it wasn't even attached at all. So basically the creativity on where you go from here is up to you. So what I want to do is I want to look at this bracelet and determine, is everything where I want it to be. So for example, I'm looking at it, you know, actually I think it's everywhere I want to be. I got the thickness of different beads at different points. So what I'm going to just do now is that I'm going to take all of them just like so at the top, and I'm going to twist them. I'm just going to twist the whole lot of them together. So this is why it was important to have the actual things at the end. Okay, so now some people have clasping and things that cover these particular twists, but I kind of like the twisting, and a lot of my people that buy them actually really like the aspect of seeing raw twisting instead of covering it up with another particular thing. But if you're not comfortable with that, again, you can just slide something on top of that. So now what I want to do is that I want to cause these to kind of intertwist with each other, because as much as I think it would look kind of cool just to go like that, I'm going to twist them up because this still looks pretty amazing. So to do that, some people like to secure down the end. So you just might want to put it under something so that it holds it down. And so what I want to do is that I want to braid these together. So now I have a total of 5 here. So I'm just going to put the filler with one of them and another filler with another, and just pretend that these two are working as one. And I don't want to over braid them, I just want to put them together so that they actually flow nicely and stay within each other. So I just want to keep braiding as we go. I've done this so much that I actually don't need to braid holding down one end. I can actually do it, and that's talent, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to take it now, and before I twist, I want to look at it. Is that exactly what I'm looking for? You know, it's kind of an interesting process. And so on this end, I just want to pull everything together so all the tails are matching up with each other. It's important that you do that, because if you don't do that, what's going to happen is that you might actually miss one. Okay, so now I'm going to straighten these all up, put all the tails together, and twist. So I just kind of twist and pull out, twist and pull out. Okay, so there is my bracelet, all done in the raw without any clasping at all. And the wonderful thing about this bracelet is that, say you really want this bead down underneath to be pushed through, all I need just to do is just realign it, just like so. Okay, this one here is kind of out in left field, so I'm just going to put this underneath somewhere else, just like so. And then pull this one up, so it's adjustable, just like so. So if there's ever a problem or it's not balanced properly, everything is movable, even after you put on your clasping. So it's something that is a great selling feature in case you're ever having the need to do that. So let's begin to do some of the clasping work, and this is even more simpler than actually crocheting. So what I want to do here is I want to look and see where everything is, and basically I want to cut all of these wires at the same time, at the same distance. So I choose the smallest wire of them all to be my first cut point. Okay, so the first one actually was that short, so that's kind of dangerously short, but we're going to work on it anyway. And what I want to do is that I want to put on a clasp. So when you get this many wires together, sometimes these tubes are really difficult, but I want to put, well, I did have it on there for a second. I want to put it on there so I can secure everything into position down here. Okay, so I want to use my needle nose. I use the needle nose more than I use the other one. Needle nose, and I want to seal that shut. So I'm just compressed it down, and so now I want to get one of my toggles. So it's going to use the heart. And the thing about it is that, see how it's nice and flowing? You don't want to lose that aspect of it. So what you want to do is you want to bend it over, bend it over, ladies and gentlemen, and you want to create a loop, just like so. Okay? Create that loop, and then just go around. And before we go any further, I've just done one rotation, is that I want to put on another crimping tube onto this. And I'm going to put this near the edge. I talked about doing this in one of my patterns, and so taking that, and I just want to crimp it right in the edge. And the reason why I'm going to do that is I'm going to show you. It squeezes everything shut, but these things can be stabbing people. So what I want to do is I want to take the whole shabam and twist it over top and fold it down. So when it goes, it's actually going to be folding onto itself, just like so, and it will not stab anybody. And so we just want to then continue to twist, and this wire, you know, like any kind of wire, it likes to get tangled up and stuff. So what we want to do is that we want to position this underneath an existing loop that you see, and this is probably the most interesting piece of work right here, because you don't want this loop to kind of come out. So we just want to kind of force the wires around and get that to go through a loop, and basically that end piece is going to be held down by that loop. And what I want to do is take this and I want to twist it into itself. So I want to twist it in. So where you folded it over is actually going to be facing down and not up. Okay, so all the loose wires are facing down into the bracelet instead of pointing up. And so basically, therefore you have a nice loose toggle, and we're going to start doing the other side. So do the other side exactly the same way. and we'll meet you back up in just a few seconds. So here we have it, the final of the bracelet. And you know, you may see this and be, oh my god, Mikey, that's just so tacky, or you may say that's the coolest thing ever. So what we want to do is, so say you want to make it shorter, all you got to just do is just scrunch it. It's metallic, right? So you can scrunch it together and it'll make it shorter. And if you need to make it longer, you just don't pull on the toggles, but pull on the wires where they're wrapped and just pull it out a little bit. So let's try this bad boy on. I should have tried it on off camera. And so basically you're going to want people to try to get this on themselves if they need help to get it on. Usually it's too big or it's too small. Or sorry, it'd be too small. What am I talking about? So I'm going to try to do that there. And basically, you have it. And this is kind of really super blingy. And again, just because I use these colors, don't lock my creativity into your own. Choose colors that make sense for you, that speak your personality. Choose toggles that make a lot of sense. You know, toggles can really make or break a product as far as doing it properly. And again, there is my new bracelet, and you can see it's even more cooler than the one that is a lot more thinner. So, and again, this one here is the same amount. There's only four strands in here. There is 5 in here, but again, the size of beads made the huge difference on how thick it will be. So on behalf of AllFreeCrochet.com, I'm your host Mikey, and I hope you've enjoyed this free tutorial. Compliments of AllFreeCrochet.com. Until next time, we'll see you.